Hello, so I didn't do an update for a while. I got a little eyelid problems that we call blepharitis. You can look it up online. Anyway, so it's pretty hard for me to code those days. I did some stuff on Saturday. The eye was a little bit better on Saturday, so I got full day of working on Deferred rendering that I'm going to show you in a moment. And as you can hear, the little drops. I got the ambient sounds working correctly. I got the 3D sounds working correctly. So I can go in the free cam right now just to show that to you. Also, the free cam now use mouse control. So as you can see, the winds are louder here, and it's all in 3D and blah blah yada yada. So finally, I didn't use their channel and their way of doing 3D and all. I just went straight with XNA 3D sounds, whatever. It's better. Yeah. So last time we saw the ambient. I can't turn it off anymore. I kind of screwed up all the shaders because of the Deferred, so I have to look that up again. So first of all, I will reduce the volume of the game. Now that we've seen it, we don't need it anymore. Well, I can't find it in the mixer. Okay, I find it. Alright, so I'm in free cam mode. So what I can do now, I can actually select stuff like this. And so what you don't see is outside of the view, I have some C# windows that I create when I go in FreeCam. So I can basically change some properties on this object and see its type name. So this one, for example, his name is Mist6. So it's very useful to know which object. You know, it's not called like lamp fire or something. This one is the teleport, so it's called teleport man. So it's really useful, and as I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to switch to Deferred. Oh, also I got the cheat codes working. So gun mode, quicken. So I'm gun mode now, and then Rambo for all guns. So I can show you that I finished also all the guns. So you saw that one already. There's that one, which is pretty cool. One of my favorite actually. There's this one. It shoots really fast, but it's not very powerful, it seems. I still prefer the blue one. There's that one, which is basically the rocket launcher. That one's a bit weird. It bounces, then it explodes, but it's not very good. I don't see any practical use for it. Yeah. So then I'm going to switch into Deferred rendering, but it will be pretty dark because I've only added lights to existing stuff. So I'm going to add more ambient lights, and there's no sunlight, so everything's dark with some lights here and there. So let's switch. There we go. So as you can see, the torch is making light. So there's no shadow yet. It's really early right now. I didn't fix the torch in the walls yet either. But as you can see, the little thing there, it's casting light. You know, it goes on the column too. This one, as you can see, the blue light around. Really cool stuff. Yeah. It's going to be pretty cool. Oh, and also, yeah, of course, those ones, they make light, as you can see. Cool stuff, huh? If I shoot, let's say with this one, it would see really fast. I can illuminate everything. Really cool stuff. The keys make some light a little bit, so it's easier to see. The character makes a light also around him. Those ones, and they cast light on the objects below it. Really cool. You can see the light on the barrel also. So basically, when I render the barrel or any sprites, I add normals to them facing the camera and on the side. So the more I turn the sprite's still facing me, but you don't see the light on it anymore. So it feels almost like it's 3D. It's really cool. Those that don't know deferred rendering, basically I have a G buffer. It's really small in the corner there. I should have made them bigger for the video. But basically the top left is the diffuse, so it's the pure light. Then the top right one is the depth buffer. So that's what I use to reconstruct the position. And the top left is the normal. So the barrel, basically they change their color of the normal as I go around. Cool stuff. And here the torch, they create that cool effects. So now I'm going to go in free mode actually, so we can show more of this. So what I did is, first of all, in code I added all the light colors for every items and stuff, and it looked a little bit bad because it's hard from the code to gauge the color correctly. So I ended up with 2 saturated. So one thing to know when you're lighting a level, I'm not an artist, but I kind of work closely with artists from time to time. I read a little bit about this stuff. Is 2 saturation actually is bad. So the green here is not pure green. So if, for example, if I increase the saturation to full, you can see it's more green. If I put everything like this, it's going to look really bad, really amateur. So what I do is I put about 50% saturation. As you can see, it goes more towards the white. And it looks more like natural lighting. The same thing with the torch. I can put them all yellow. It doesn't look great. And the idea I took from this is when you work, let's say, in the Unreal Engine, basically they have a U slider, and as you can see, I can change the U, so it's not an RGB slider, and they have a saturation slider. So that's why when you put a light in UT and you give it a color just with the U, it always looks really good. Of course you can screw it up if you want, but and then I have a radius slider, so that little thing can be even higher. So I'm not going to save that, but basically whatever change I make are going to affect all of the type that is selected. So for example, too much blue, saturation just looks great. Another thing I did is I'm able to add self-illumination. So if I remove self-illumination, if I remove the light also, for example, it starts from scratch here. This one's too bright, by example. Alright, so this one is in the dark. So I have the possibility of adding self-illumination differently on the top and the bottom. So for example, that one, without deferred, you can see it's a little bit brighter on the bottom. So I can add self-illumination only on the bottom. And I'm just going to add a little bit on the top. And then I'm going to add a light to it. Saturate it. Find the green. Then desaturate. Then reduce its radius a little bit. And I'm going to reduce its brightness a little bit. And we're back to what we had just there. And it looks great, and it looks like the bottom is illuminating and not the rest. So it's really cool. That tools I created where I can change all those things in real time, it's really cool. Same thing with those. I've added brighter at the top, less bright at the bottom. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So like for example here, I'm not going to change most. Here there's more lighting, so I'm going to add ambient light. So I will work next on adding lights freely that don't mean anything, that are not attached to actually something, to illuminate a little bit more. Like for example here it's pretty dark. The real thing is a little bit lighter. I will work on adding some shadow map on the skies too. We can check other levels too, for example that one, E2 and 2. So this one, there's the lava, so it's fully illuminated. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to bake that sector into a texture and blur it and use this to basically illuminate the walls around it. So it's like it's going to go from it and do a cone and up. It's going to look awesome. Oh, also those ones. That's a cool one. Where is it? Let's go back to first level for that. It's more obvious. Alright, so as you can see, each individual particles can have a light. So that's the beauty of deferred lighting, is you just render the lights without re-rendering the walls and whatnot. So let's pause this and I can select one. And basically I can change the color, you know, I can do whatever I want, change the radius. And it's really cool. So right now I'm doing a very naive approach. So basically every single light in the level, and there's a lot, as you can see, each little items, I'm rendering a full screen quad, and I'm doing the shader just to render that little. So usually what you do, and what I did in previous projects, is you render a sphere instead, that so you don't waste all that fill rate, that pixels. I don't know why. I don't know if my new video card is awesome. It's a 770 GTX. It's not like a Titan or whatever, and I mean, I'm rendering 100 lights like that full screen. I have no FPS drop at all. It's actually quite surprising, but I cannot ship anything like this. I'm going to have to render those little spheres. Sorry, and you actually render only when it's cutting the walls, so you render when the depth fell actually. So you even save even more, you just render what's touching the walls. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do this, maybe add culling too. But yeah, no drop in FPS. I'm in debug also now, so as you can see, it looks pretty cool. And for the lava, there is like that level here where this lava is actually one big sector that goes around like this. So that sector, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bake this with texture, lower precision, and then I'm going to blur it for the top part. And it will feel like the whole thing just naturally cone up. And it's going to look awesome. It's going to illuminate everything perfectly around. Then I'm going to add ambient lights to make the darker parts. But it's cool. As you can see, the green keys here, they illuminate green. We saw the yellow. We have a blue one here. Oh, and we have those little lava balls. Let's see, those ones. They illuminate. All the little things illuminate also. See? Really cool. So it's missing a lot of light, like the original is really bright, so again that lava will illuminate a lot of things. And it's going to end up pretty awesome. So that's what I've been working on. And the little way to select stuff. Like for example, I can select that thing and say, well, bottom illumination, because it's in the lava. But I'm not going to do this because the lava will illuminate it anyway, and those things are used elsewhere than where there's lava. And those things also, like their self-illumination a little bit, they're going to be more red. And I'm probably going to add distortion where there's lava, so the screen will look like it's eating something. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And see you next time with more awesome stuff. I'm probably not going to work on this tonight. My eye is pretty screwed up right now. But it's going to get better from now. I'm going to have surgery in 2 weeks also to fix the inner problem of this so it doesn't happen again. Alright, Thanks for watching.